Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's go, chat. Turn up one time. Let's go. How you feeling this afternoon, man? Man, glad to see everybody having a good time, because I'm having a good time, especially after today's post-practice reports here with the Coach Smook Network. Man, we got you covered with your post-practice reports. Now, I know a lot of people have been hitting me up. We got people from the community checking in. We got people on social media checking in. I'm not here to fact check nobody. I'm just going to tell y'all everything that I got confirmed and heard. I literally just got done having a phone conversation with two individuals that were actually present at practice, and then also, man, just talking to the youngins checking in. Y'all know how to do so. Tap in, buckle your seatbelts. We're here for a quick conversation here on the Coach Smook post-practice report, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this morning's show, man. I think this morning's show was a different type of vibe with the call-in. I think we need to get more people calling in, man. Get more people confident calling in. Now, we did start an hour late this morning. We had a couple meetings that we were tapped into this morning. But going forward, we will be trying to push that call-in show to 8 a.m. Shout out to my sis Britt over there on the TikTok side. Got people tapping in and tapping the screen. If you're tapping in on TikTok, make sure you tap the screen, man. That's how you help the algorithm with us. And then if you're here on YouTube, like the stream, share, let everybody know that we're live. But if you're here post live, still drop like hit that thumbs up button. It's somewhere on your screen, whether you're watching it mobile, on the computer, or even on the TV. You can scroll down and you can see ways to give your reaction. Make sure you're liking that stream, because our viewership is growing, but our reactions and interactions haven't been up there. Y'all got an echo? Do we got an echo? Let me see. Let me check. We still got echo? We should be good now, Britt. Echo going? Echo should be going. Echo should be gone. We good now? Let me know. We should be good. No echo, right? We're going. I think my mic may not be connected properly. Oh no. What's going on? Let me see. What's going on, chat? Y'all help me fix the audio before we get into it. Let me see. Mic check. We good? Yeah, that sound isn't right. Oh Lord, let me fix it. Let me see. We good? We good now? Check mic. 1, 2, check mic. We good? We better now? We good now? Braden Curry said, why my audio always terrible? You must don't come here often. Clearly you a hater. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel and joined the AAA family, how we sounding now? We good now? Britt said it's better. All right, so we good. We should be good now. That's what happens when you do multiple different channels, man. You got different forms of content you do. You mix it up. You have to mix it up. All right, Britt, appreciate the gifts. Appreciate the good. We good now, bet. Yeah, we just have to reset the settings. It's all good. We back in it. Hey, but post practice report here with Coach Smook, man. Nobody's gonna give it to you like this. We were going to do members only. But we changed our mind. We're going to do things a little different, just give y'all a little introduction. But we're here for about 30 minutes. So if you got any questions about today's practice report, dial it up now. We can get y'all in there, put y'all in the game, and let y'all know what y'all doing. But before y'all do that, make sure y'all take an opportunity to become a member of the AAA family, like y'all saw in the intro. Not only that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Not just this channel, make sure you subscribe to the Coach Smook Gaming YouTube channel and the Smook Hines channel. We have content being posted on there surrounding Alabama content. Definitely some entertaining stuff that y'all want to get into and start supporting. But I appreciate y'all for helping me check the audio. Now, let's jump into the show, man. How many of y'all excited to talk about this Alabama Post fall scrimmage report? We had Kalen DeBoer come up with his interview, so that's the first thing we're going to do. But like I said, make sure y'all tap into the channel, man. Let's get into it.
I said, better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok.
Listen up. So what we got coming up right now, we got Coach Kalen DeBoer's interview post-practice present. But before we jump to that, just to give y'all a synopsis of things that I got reported. Today, everybody loves to talk about the quarterback position. I'm telling you right now, there's a reason why QB1 and QB2 are getting the same amount of reps, or generally, I mean, like literally, I think it's maybe 7 more reps, but the amount of pass attempts equaled out to the same with QB1 and QB2. You're talking about 110 snaps of scrimmage play, got into some situational things towards the last, 40 to 35 to 40 snaps with each quarterback getting the opportunity to operate those different scenarios. Getting through, 95% of your script in your first scrimmage lets you know that guys are retaining and starting to apply what they're learning as far as the scheme and the execution of plays that may not yield a positive result for the offensive side or for the defensive side in that particular play, meaning yards gained or turnovers created, disruptions created. But to see everybody on both sides of the ball executing and flying around on a schematic, on a game planning standpoint, that gives you more and more confidence in how you're going to establish your depth chart. And that's from every position, the quarterback, to the defensive back on the defensive side. Everybody that's fitting in and able to get in the game-like situations and give you the quality looks that you need on first or second look, that's good. That means that your team is retained and things are starting to roll over. So that's a good thing to hear from a lot of reports. But then also some of my personal sources coming in talking about key players or certain players making key plays in the game. The defensive line becoming very disruptive, which is one or two things in my opinion. Either we're still having some spots on the offensive line that still need some answers, or you just have such a good rotation and a good mix of defensive linemen with so many different skill sets that it's hard to really game plan for these guys when you're dialing up your game plan because you're trying to get your best result possible. And what I'm hearing right now, you got Jordan Renard, Jeremiah Beeman. These two are very active and disruptive. Andrew Hill, Stephen Dumas, Tim Keenan. There's a rotation of interior guys right now that when you really can't decide who the starter is because they're all getting the same type of production when they're thrown out there in the rotation. The twos look good. Keelan Russell and the twos. He started off with the twos today. Got the first group snap with the twos. One incompletion on his first 9 pass attempts. Only one incompletion, and it wasn't a misread. Over Anthony throw on a crosser. Made the right read. Alabama, the defense that still had to be some hero type coverage. Made the right read, but just a little hair off on the throw. Went back and still made a drive down into the red zone. They were stopped on their first 2 opportunities in the red zone, both ones and twos. And then when they switched Ty Simpson with the twos, experienced the same amount of success that he experienced with the ones. And the same could be said for Keelan Russell, who got some snaps with the ones today. I think that Alabama coaching staff is continuing to allow the equal share of reps between quarterbacks 1 and 2, Ty Simpson and Keelan Russell. For the simple fact that Ty Simpson has a year basically under his belt in understanding the terminology of the scheme and actually trying to operate the offense. So now being asked to put roll everything over to the field in this evaluation process, he's doing exactly what he's being asked to do. So that creates opportunity for you to find out who's your next most reliable guy in the room. And I think right now, because of the lack of game experience, right now you're comfortable with Ty Simpson and the amount of game experience that he has going into week 1 against Florida State on the road in Tallahassee against a new look offense in Florida State that's going to be operated or coordinated by Gus Malzahn. We know what type of offensive mind he is when he has skill sets available. But then also, head coach Mike Norvell and the defensive staff, you can expect them to throw a lot of wrinkles in, being that they are replacing a lot of production from last year. Last year's defense that really wasn't worth anything. So you really can't gauge what to expect from this defensive scheme. But with Alabama being able to roll through everything offensively fluently and have the type of report that we have from today, I think that's a good thing. Receivers continuing to make plays. The secondary finally being challenged. Finally look like they're being challenged because of the type of level that receivers have developed into past the first 4 guys. You talking about guys like Cole Adams, Jalen Bachway. You talk about Jalen Hill. Those are 3 options that are 5th, 6th, and 7th options in this wide receiver rotation that I think are going to benefit from being that far down in the depth chart. And in this scheme, in this system, being 5, 6, and 7 as pecking order wide receivers, that's not a bad position to be in. Those are the guys with the 20 to 30 receptions in the season that can have 400 to 500 yards apiece with the most touchdown receptions because they're not the primary target or the primary option to be schemed or schematically on the defensive side. So we got the receivers looking good. The running game still starting to develop. The interior run game is something that I think Coach Grubb and Coach Cap, the offensive line coach, would love to see more production from, being that you have a system or you have quarterbacks now in this system that aren't looking to be the bell cows in the carry department. So you're starting to see a lot more plays where the physicality is starting to have to be more prevalent with the offensive line and the running backs. Their patience is starting to develop a lot better. A former colleague of mine that used to help us in the Bama space, on Bama Football on YouTube, he's now on staff there, working as a GA or offensive quality control. I think it's quality control. Talking about the patience of the offensive line. The running back with the offensive line. We heard Ryan Grubb
kind of expound on the offensive line earlier in the week with his interview, saying that you know, he doesn't mind it taking time for the offensive line to gel right now because of the skill sets available. And a lot of people took that and said, "Oh, we don't have offensive line, or we're not doing good." Well, I think that's more of a testament to say, "Hey, there are 8 or 9 guys right now on the offensive line that I feel good with throwing on the field right now. You can get the same amount of production. It's about finding the most consistent 5 out of those 8 or 9, and then establishing the pecking order after that." Mic check, mic check. I don't know what happened to the mic, but we back. And then establishing the pecking order after that. I think that's where you're going to see the quality of depth in the University of Alabama's offensive line, and not just there, but in the wide receiver room and in the running back. The quality of depth there. I think right now the O-line, you're too deep, solid. You're confident with 1 through 10, but you're just excited about 1 through 8 right now because 10, you got 2 or 3 true freshmen that are in the developmental phase, and they look good against 2s and 3s at Alabama. But what does it look like in the game when the play call is coming and it's time to execute in front of all those different variables? You're going against the defender costing you that you're not used to. You haven't rep with for months now or practices now, and now you have to really be fresh and react. That's what the fear is once you get to the 8th or the 9th or the 10th guy in the pecking order offense line. But as far as talent, I think they are very confident in what we have available. So let's jump right into it, man. We got Coach Kalen DeBoer, head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, up with his interview post-practice presser here. Hopefully you all can hear it well. We should be able to hear everything very good. And we're going to get into it, man. Let me see. We got Coach Kalen DeBoer. Let me see if I made a banner for him. I think I did. I thought I did. Where's Mary J when we need her? All right, let's get him talking. All right, Coach Kalen DeBoer, this is his forward interview post-practice at fall camp scrimmage today. Check it out.
Good scrimmage for the guys. I say it seems like every time, but I felt good about the back and forth. There was times the offense moved the ball, especially early up the field, and defense did a nice job anchoring down as the scrimmage went along. And we got into some situations at the end, some end-of-game stuff that I think is really important. Things that we're able to do much more and be comfortable repping those things. Doesn't mean it's perfect, but that's why we practice, and got some end-of-the-game situations in there at the end too. So just kind of last-second stuff, 7 seconds,
and we have
last play of the game type things. But really all the injuries that we have right now, we got Jaden Roberts still dinged up. He got in the middle of the week. Just stuff we're dealing with and keep evaluating him. So don't expect it to be a long-term thing, but don't know his timeline necessarily.
And just some clarity on the Jaden Roberts injury. The thing is, we have personnel at the right guard position that we are really floating around. And I told y'all, this is why they continue to say things as in 8 or 9 guys, 7 guys. They talk about pecking order more so than the depth chart because they want everybody ready. They want every receiver ready to play every position, every spot in the wide receiver room. They want every offensive lineman to be able to play guard and tackle at any moment given and be serviceable. You got 4 centers, guys that they feel like can man the center position on the offensive line. So when you have issues where guys like Jaden Roberts, guys like Caden Crocker, who missed 1 or 2 days early in the first, not necessarily missed days, but when it came to doing team type of drills and work, you didn't have these guys in the rotation because you're trying to fit guys into game-like situations. You go through a period where you're doing your scheme and your plays on air, and then you plug these guys in when it's time to go live because that's what would happen in the game. You would have your starter do everything throughout the week and have your second street guys practicing and making sure that they're ready. And then when it came to game time, you got to be ready to go in. So seeing Olis Alanin with the first group today, seeing Cam Dewberry and Gino Vandermark with the first group, both playing both guard positions, switching, right? Brock Montgomery getting that opportunity to be the next guy up behind Jaden Roberts. I think it's starting to solidify that rotation. And some of the things that we've been reporting here on the Coach Smook Network, they continue to coincide with these interviews. So definitely trust the sources that's getting you the information here at Coach Smook Network.
And then James Smith continues to come along, and I like the progress that he's showing. So he didn't scrimmage. Neither one of those guys scrimmaged. But for the most part, we're in a good spot. I think a lot of what we went through in the spring has really helped us.
And also, y'all here we haven't been talking about James Smith much. Still coming back to being 100%. He and Deontay Lawson, but he is more so at 100% than Deontay.
I was hoping it was going to be a blessing in disguise, but I think we're building some depth, and when you don't have a guy out there, you feel good, not just about that replacement or who's competing for those spots, but also the guys that
what's up,
are,
Quinn? Appreciate you tapping the
moving
on
up the
TikTok
depth chart, maybe from a 3 to a 2 and so forth. So blessing in disguise, maybe.
Jonathan, appreciate the follow over there on TikTok.
Both the spring and the fall. Questions?
Thanks, Coach. Just start with Jake here on the far left.
Yeah, we'll get out of the way. How'd the quarterbacks look?
I almost just went to it without even you asking, but I was like, listen. The biggest thing with those guys, the quarterbacks, the question is, they've done a great job, first of all, taking care of the football. No picks today, and a few touchdown passes. I don't know the exact number, but a few touchdown passes between all three of them. And the completion percentage over the course of camp for all three has been in that,
Hey, Keelan Russell had the most touchdown passes
minimum
today.
of 65%.
Keelan Russell had the most touchdown passes, but I'll say this: as far as moving the ball and the efficiency, the ones and the twos look fluent with Ty Simpson. Russell extended a few plays and created a lot of out of off-render plays. That's something that kind of separates him and Ty Simpson. But Ty Simpson's timing with the offense to be on this level right now, as far as execution, he didn't have a pass hit the ground. Which is solid. But you're talking about going against guys like Damani Jackson and Cam Calhoun and Xavier Brown, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sapp on the back end, Kirkpatrick getting some of that work with the first team. And then you got underneath couple guys and Justin Jefferson and Kyle Green, guys that are underneath really floating and shooting gaps or jumping passing lanes. Ty Simpson is looking great right now with this offensive scheme, getting the ball out quick. But today, if we're talking from a number standpoint, Russell had a few more highlight plays. Not very many explosive plays from today's offense, just an efficient showing from the offense in today's scrimmage. And I think by play design or play call design, I think we're going to see the sped up version of last year's offense on a more consistent basis. And when you have quarterbacks that can move the pocket and throw on the run, or guys that find their timing good in the pocket, first group O-line looked great with Cam Dewberry and Geno Vandermark being out there at the start at the guard position, which might create some controversy or some competition for, if we have another struggle at the tackle position, at right tackle or left tackle. Now what are we doing? Jaden Roberts to me is more of a natural tackle. So why is he not playing right tackle? And that's a more natural position for him. I think he's better suited for that position. But with the injuries, you get to see different things in different phases. And today, looking for me, looked like the best option at right tackle with Cam Dewberry right there next to him, or Geno Vandermark next to him. So it's all about finding the best five that fit and creating that continuity. But solid showing from the quarterbacks today with the amount of the clean pockets that we had today for the passing game. You saw that, but in the run game, got to see more effectiveness. And I think our D-line has just gotten better. With James Smith being out, you got guys that are working new positions. Kelvin Collins is being more so asked to be a true defensive end now than what he was at Florida, getting in and being a guy that's really able to crash down a lot of stunts. They're already starting to throw those. You're seeing a lot of production from the defensive front and stopping the run game. Now, I said it at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to say it again. That's one or two things. That means one or two things. One, the offensive line and the run game just aren't getting there yet. Or two, the defensive line is so good it doesn't matter what you line up against our defensive front, it's not going to have success. And our offensive line is going to get better because of that. Because I don't think there's many other talented defensive line groups across the country, let alone across the SEC, with so many young groups coming back. A lot of teams returning a lot of veteran presence on their defensive front. I think Alabama's in a good position to showcase how good this O-line can develop.
And they just did a good job being consistent.
David Pickett, appreciate
I think that's
1999 super chat. Y'all give it up for my guy David, man.
7-on-7
give him some
drills,
applause
team
real
drills.
quick. Give it up for my guy David, man. Appreciate you, David, for the 1999 super chat, man, and becoming the first post-sponsor on the stream, man. Y'all give it up for my guy. becoming the first sponsor on today's stream. Appreciate you for supporting the Triple A family, David, and being a member of the Triple A family, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Much love. Let's get back to the interview, man. Let's make sure we get that.
I might be off on one, probably not off two, but they've done a good job taking care of the football. And I think the first week just missed a few plays. The last practices, finding the ways to get explosives. I think, command in the huddle. I think your two guys that have been around the offense the longest, Ty and Austin, when they get in a huddle and they got to rattle off a play, they're sharp and confident with it. Keelan's still learning those things, but he's doing a great job. The progress is something that you'd hope for, and he's right there. So, explosive opportunities, they got the ball there. They delivered the ball. And timing, I feel like very few times are we in a spot where we're not throwing on time, not confident with where we should deliver the ball. So from a timeline, because I know that's kind of what you want, I feel like we're getting closer. I would have said before camp, we definitely got to make a decision by the time we get done with the second scrimmage. And I would anticipate for sure.
Wow. Hey, where did y'all get that from earlier? Where did y'all get that from? I said, come on, man. We literally just talked about this on yesterday's stream. We literally just talked about the timeline for announcing the official starter. I just paid attention to how this staff evaluate. And they do what they do. I told you all, they are going to allow, if they feel like they have a good chance to have two starting quarterbacks, they want to let this thing go to the second scrimmage. That's when they run a game script. Their second scrimmage is the most lifelike or realistic simulation of game time situations that they run. With the officials and everything, the clock and everything, the second scrimmage is where you're going to see it. So can't wait to see what that unveils.
We'll see kind of how the next few days go, but it's two good showings, I think, especially by Austin and Ty again today, and again Keelan making the progress we'd hope for. You can see what his ceiling is going to be. It's just a matter of more reps.
Yeah, Coach, just sticking with the offense, what do you see from the backs today from a run game standpoint?
I thought Jam started out really well. I think the offensive line did a nice job creating some seams for Jam to hit. Got to the second level, broke a couple tackles. I thought it was one of the better showings I've seen Jam have in a scrimmage. And then, Daniel Hill is a guy we're getting more and more comfortable with. He's big back, but I think he's deceiving when it comes to what he does from a skill set standpoint. He's going to catch the ball in the backfield. Dre has been consistent all camp long. Thought he poured a couple runs up in there. Did a nice job. Maybe when there's not even something there, just moving the pile and getting those 3-yard gains that are important to setting your offense up for good down at distances. Rich,
make sure y'all like and share the screen, man. Make sure y'all like
all of them. I think Jam, certainly had the best day, and that's been consistent. I feel good about all of them in pass protection, first with their responsibilities and the ability to go up there and execute too and get the job done.
That's the key thing right there.
With blitzes and things like that. Our running backs doing a good job, and when they get out, they've been effective pass catchers as well.
With Jaden out, just kind of how much rotation were you having to do at guard with Cam and Gino and those guys, and just overall, what did you see from the offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, with Jaden out today, the rotation was less. It was kind of those guys in there.
Yep.
Left guard Cam, right guard Gino, and so that was kind of our lineup.
So, am I going to stop recording this? I promise y'all, this is my first time seeing this. And shout out to listen, I have multiple reliable sources now. You can be able. I have multiple because I talked to so many people on the day, and I appreciate y'all for keeping it real with me. You all know who you are. Continue to tap in. You ain't got to say that in the comments if you don't want to, but if you know that we've been putting in work and we just give me a roll tide in the chat or something. We put out some quality stuff, man, and Twitter hates it. I don't know why Twitter hates the fact that Coach Smook has access. I remember Voice of College Football has the access that we have. You would think that people appreciate getting this type of insight and this type of conversation for free, right? We're not charging you $9.99 to get it on no message board just for somebody that's going there and claim that they're Kirby Smart's second cousin, niece's ex-husband, and got some inside scoop with Alabama because they drunk a beer at the same bar as AJ McCarron did this past weekend. You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate what we do here at the Coach Kalen Network. We work hard to get you, and it's like you all are hearing everything that I'm saying, the spots that I said certain things about. Kalen DeBoer is echoing the same thing. Coach Kalen DeBoer doing the same thing. I appreciate this staff, man. I never thought I'd be connected this way, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Gratitude, man. I'm gratitude for real. Full of gratitude.
That's more than likely kind of what it looked like before camp, and
I need one in search.
That hasn't really changed much with the main core of 6 guys kind of competing for those spots more days than not.
Chase in the back left.
6 guys.
What did you see today that you would say was disappointing or concerning?
So I mentioned Jam getting some good runs the first couple of plays of the game. Obviously, that meant there were some seams, and so the first drive in particular, some seams, and so we got to be ready to play. Gap integrity defensively, but I didn't feel like over the course of the scrimmage, the defense had an issue with the run. So just being ready to go with the first couple plays, the offense got down the field pretty quickly. Defense did a nice job anchoring down and keeping them out of the end zone though at the end. So some good give and take when I say that. That's kind of the first drive only, but I thought they did a good job. And so then on the alternative, what you'd like to see is the offense continue to execute, right? And the run game. And it wasn't like they were bad, but those explosives that you want to try to see, certainly the defense did a nice job of clamping it down. So you just I sit, right, wearing the headphones, and every single play, if I flip from one side to the other, there's complaining and the guy's upset, and the other side, there's a crew that's pretty happy and ready to go play the next play. So, but I think there's a good give and take. So I can't say that there was anything I was just like, man, we are in trouble or we're nervous about this.
Unite, you're wrong. And this is why I love when you all try to take these things and you try to continue to go against the narrative and the things that I'm telling you. Listen, Austin Mack is going to always get quality, good reps, and he's going to look good. His spring evaluation placed him third because he was not able to effectively execute with the 1s and the 2s as Keelan Russell was. He looks great against the 3s. That's a level where he can continue to develop and it not cap him. And then his mixed-in reps with the 2s, it should start translating. Keelan Russell is doing good to be going in the QB1, QB2 competition as a true freshman. And for him to keep getting better every day with more so the things that don't necessarily translate onto the field or literally when you turn on the film, that's what you see. You have to get in the huddle to understand that he's not taking command of the huddle. And for a true freshman to have that as his only being, you're trying to, come on. He's QB2, Ty's QB1, Austin is QB3. Keep on believing all the other narratives that the NCAA 26 shot the line for you when you turn the game on and turn that on. You can listen to, I don't want to say their name, but listen to them and the crap. I'm telling you right now, Russell is QB2. I'm just letting you know. I've been saying this for the longest. It's a battle. It's still, to me, the race is still open. Scrimmage number 2 is going to tell us exactly what we need to know. I guarantee you this week the numbers will be different as far as reps given to the 1, how they split up with the 1s, and then who's taking majority of the 2 reps. Guaranteed.
Playing some young guys there defensively. I know James, I mentioned, has been out, so getting good rotation, guys getting a lot of good reps.
Second row on the right, Will.
Coach, there's a lot of depth on this team, rooms like the wide receivers, defensive backs. How did you see that depth on display in the scrimmage today, and what's impressed you throughout camp and even from the spring?
Yeah, just new guys popping up, right? Guys that you would expect to make plays, but one day, you got Germ. You talk about receivers. You got Germ making a lot of plays. Today, Horton getting his opportunity, and Rico just doing the little things that matter. Cole Adams made a nice play today, one that was really good to see. The depth. Guys understanding, man, I got to go out on a day when we got a scrimmage. I got to go out and prove it. And so, especially those ones that maybe haven't got as many opportunities or know that they're just right there kind of hovering on between a 1 and a 2. And so the depth thing, we have a lot of positions, like I think about linebacker and O-line, where we got a lot of upperclassmen and guys that have a lot of experience. And then
shout out to that guy, David Pickett, for coming through with another another super chat, 1999 super chat, man. Appreciate you, David, for being a party starter, man. That boy done jumped in this thing and popped off with 1999 super chats. Hey, y'all, give it up for David in the chat, man. W's David in the chat. David, we appreciate you, man. You've been showing mad support, brother. That's the second one on the screen, man. Becoming a double sponsor on today's stream today. Appreciate you, man. That lets me know he's appreciated content. David, I appreciate you for your support, man.
All of a sudden it drops down, to where all of a sudden you're playing with Michael Carroll and Jackson Lloyd at tackle. And that's the part that is nice to see. You wish it wouldn't necessarily have to be that way. You'd love to have some maybe redshirt juniors, and Olas is doing a good job and things like that. But, those young guys at maybe offensive line, I think linebacker is a lot the same. Just really getting a lot of reps in there. You got the Deontay Lawsons and that crew of upperclassmen, and then you got the crew that's incoming freshmen. But I love the depth we're building. Those guys are going to be important, not just on defense, offense, but special teams. They're going to be really critical. We played a lot of freshmen last year. I think most in the SEC by far, and I think one of the top 3 in the country. I think close to 1,600 snaps with the freshmen on special teams last year. So it's good for those guys to get out there and do the fundamentals that are especially transferable from maybe defense and tackling to special teams.
Mike, far left.
What were you able to get from the tight end position compared to where you were in the spring during scrimmages?
Yeah. They're really consistent. I'm trying to think. There was couple nice just moving the chains type things, consistency. Can't say that there was a lot of explosive plays out of the tight ends, but they are extremely critical as far as moving around. You guys know we do a lot of shifting and motioning. They're involved in protection the next time they're out. I thought they were really consistent. Again, not a lot of explosiveness that we saw from them. The explosiveness came from the other guys we're talking about in the skill area. So I'm pleased with where it's going. We lost 2 really good ones that could do some things, especially up front when it comes to big bodies and having to play SEC, football. And I think we can probably continue to get better blocking at the point of attack, and especially maybe in short yardage or goal line situations, continue to get there. But that's a whole unit thing too. It's not just on that position.
Go back right, PG.
Hey, Coach, what are you looking for in terms of little things and intangibles when it?
Hey, we got 53 in the chat, man. We got 53 in the chat, 24 likes. I need everybody to hit that thumbs up button right now. I know we got lurkers. There's no reason to not like, though. No reason to not like, man.
Comes to a first scrimmage of fall camp.
Yeah, first of all, guys feeling confident when they break, whether defensively lining up, offensively breaking a huddle or running out and doing it confidently. And I've really felt that was the case. We scrimmage, and there's a lot of install that gets put in each and every day. And so when you first put that in, there's a lot of coaches that are kind of like hovering, right? Trying to get the guys lined up. And, from my standpoint, you get to Wednesday, Thursday, you got a big scrimmage Saturday. You're wondering if how confident they're going to be. But I thought that was really good. I thought the coaches didn't hold back. I thought there's base stuff that they did, but also, everything we've installed, they wanted to find out how vulnerable we were or how hard we could attack and push. And so we challenged our guys, and I thought confidently, and you can hear the confidence come out in communication.
Hey, we've been talking about this, man. The level of communication that's been happening on the defensive side with the young group of guys, with the young rotation, the second group and the third group of guys, that's the promising thing to see. But to see this translate on the offensive line and things starting to get cleaned up, and you just heard me talk about the young offensive linemen, Michael Carroll, Jackson Lloyd. We've been very high on these guys in their development. Mal Waldrop getting in there, starting to showcase a little bit of pop. Michael DeBoer and those other young ones kind of still in that developmental stage. But Olis Alanin is the name that we continue to hear from spring. All of these names continue to pop up from the coach's mouth. And then you look at how they talk about these guys in their development. When they talk about the quarterback position, Keelan Russell is the key talking point as far as development. That's what this staff does. They are big on development. If they see guys developing, that's going to garner their attention.
right? So when I'm talking about the depth of the quarterback position, the depth chart, there's a reason why Austin Mack is going to continue to say, he's doing exactly what we expect him to do. He's handling the threes. He's been in the system for 3 years now. He should be able to showcase his quality talent against the threes. But you actually have the most incompletions, right? For today's practice against the 2s and the 1s, Austin Mack. 15 reps, 15 to 20 reps with the 1s and the 2s, between the 1s and the 2s, and his showing wasn't as productive as Keelan Russell and Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson didn't play any snaps with the 3s. So for people like W Knight that think they know something, it's funny to see you come in here with your message board reports, man. Keep them somewhere else. We get real stuff over here. Thank you.
A communicating team is usually a confident team. Just confirming things. That tells you know where you're going, and it also confirms that your buddy, behind in front next to you, that he knows what he's doing too. So you're on the same page. So I think that's really where it starts. Communication. I defensively just really not like blown coverages, things that just a guy completely being out of position. Forcing people to win their one-on-ones is really what it came down to a lot today, and who could out-execute.
Okay, last question will come from Blake here in the front right.
What did you see from the pass rush and who kind of made plays in that area?
Yeah, I'd say the pass rush, and I think the offense does a good job of doing things to slow down the pass rush to counter it, because we know that there's some guys that can get home, and you can't leave them one-on-one. So offensively, there's some good schemes and things that are going to keep that in check to keep our quarterback upright. That's one of the staples and one of the most important things of our offensive success is being able to have that quarterback, not sit back there and be completely comfortable, but you got to keep him upright. We got to have him out there. And so I think the offensive line probably did a better job when there was one-on-ones. Guys did a good job, I think LT continues to do a good job. I'm really excited about Quay and what he can do. Yanze over the course of camp, I think has been consistent. He didn't really get a chance or see him today, really getting home. But he's around the quarterback, and even the limited time early on, I felt like James Smith, and so he's an important piece of that too. And it's just guys working together, and I think that's going to be the key for us. Is we had times where we got someone close, but you got to continue to just work together and not leave lanes for quarterbacks run through. And I can see just every practice as a defensive line, and when the linebackers are involved in those fits, continue to surge the pocket, continue to be disciplined on upholding their job and responsibility, to where all of a sudden these huge lanes for a quarterback to run doesn't happen. Maybe happen once or twice, and I would attribute that to some pretty good quarterback instinctual play as well. So I think the offensive line probably did a little better job, but there's some scheme pieces to that too, to take away so many one-on-ones and just make ourselves vulnerable. So
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Y'all give it up for Coach Kalen DeBoer, Summer Trip Tide head coach, man. Good to have him giving us a solid report, post-practice report, and leaving enough for me to talk about and to just get some clarity on. So, of course, you already know, everybody wants to know the Alabama quarterback depth chart, pecking order, however, we've already reported on it. We said this last week. I would stay until something if something different happened in the second scrimmage, I guarantee you they will not hesitate to name someone other than Ty Simpson as the starter, the guy that's going to be taking the 1 reps, majority of the 1 reps going into the week prep, going into the Florida State game. Now, to highlight some of the things that we talked about earlier with the defensive line, Jordan Renard, Edric Hill, those guys, with James Smith being out, you're going to see those guys get a lot of reps and a lot of different groupings and pairings of the interior. But when you have heavy sets and you have guys like Jordan Renard playing the edge, Edric Hill and Tim Keenan manning the middle of your defense, or you go heavy and you got Steven Duma, Tim Keenan, and Jeremiah Beaton playing your bandit position, and you got Keon Keeley, Kelby Collins, or LT Overton playing your wolf, and you get to stand guys up like Quay Broussard, Nakai Hill Green, pairings of like Abdul Sanders Jr., QB Reese, Yanzi Pierre gets to stand up on the edge of the wide nine type of deal. Like when you're able to have that much extensiveness and versatility between your defensive line and your linebackers, your groupings,
That's where you see the versatility of your defense and the effectiveness of your play call. You get what I'm saying? My boy Jason Jackson, what he said, let me get to some of these comments in the chat. He said, Coach, he said, I'm about to pass through Auburn on my way home, Smook. Do you need me to go down to the corner and knock some limbs off the tree? You know what? If you got to use the bathroom, relieve yourself right there on the tree. Don't get caught. You didn't get it from Coach Smook. That's your own doing. But if I had to suggest a fun activity to do, relieve yourself right there on the tree. Like my boy Marquise May says, F them trees, man. F them trees, man. I don't mind. I don't mind you doing that. But let's get this win against Florida State back, man. And my guy Joshua Water said it. Glad to hear about Yancey. So a lot of things have been consistent about Yancey and his development. This is going into his, I want to say, his third year on campus, redshirt sophomore. Yancey Pierre, him and Keon Keeley. I think this is their time to blossom. This is the year for them to really truly blossom. Quay Rousseau is going to be the leader in that Wolf position at that Wolf group. But I think Yancey is the guy that's like the Dallas turned into Quay Rousseau, who's the Will Anderson. And I think you have a Braswell and Justin Hill. And I think you have even other assets that didn't get the pop and shine like they should have when they were here. But you had guys like Terrell Lewis. Y'all remember how athletic Terrell Lewis was in his rotation? There's another number 24 on roster playing a similar position in Noah Carter that I believe because of the depth and the guys that's being able to develop in that position in front of him and have the experience, they kind of developed on a faster curve. But now that he's putting that frame on, still has that twitch. You're going to start seeing Noah Carter getting probably some garbage minutes, but you're going to see his twitch. You're going to see how effective he is. And then the true freshman, Justin Hill, man, just continue to amaze. Now, looking at the inside linebacker rotation, you heard Coach Kalen DeBoer kind of highlight the fact that there were opportunities at the O-line and the linebacker room, especially for the young guys, where you have a top heavy group of veteran presence, meaning you have 2 to 3 guys, or you have guys commanding the first group of positions, but then after that, you have young talent developing into those solid number 2. And that's what you want to hear. We've been high on QB Reese, we've been high on Abdul Sanders Jr., we've been high on Luke Metz. You know, these guys taking advantage of their opportunities, and just like I hoped for and prayed for, Kalen DeBoer even alluded to the fact that we are talking about a lot of your freshmen and young redshirt freshmen having the opportunity to really implement themselves on special teams. I think that's where you're going to see the energy from this team. This young group of guys coming in, understanding where the special team, if they understand how important special plays on special teams can make and then switch the momentum in games, this is going to be a dangerous team because now you're putting the pressure on the opposing team from all 3 phases, special teams, offense, and defense. And I think the mentality of this team continues to carry over just because of things like those type of reports. So we're looking at it now, man. I think the depth of talent is very much so in full effect here at the University of Alabama. And I think the things that we're reporting beforehand and they're starting to transpire in practice, and we're able to come back and confirm, we're enjoying this space of where we're sitting at Alabama Voice of College Football and the Coach School Network. I'm telling you right now, continue running like so. We got 58 in the chat. We're sitting at 39 likes. Let's get this up to 50 likes before we get done. All right, check this out. We got some more comments in the chat. They can go back and check. Yeah, that's the funny thing about it. You got people like W Knight pulling up thinking that they know something because they've been in here with these message boards, jumping on the message boards, right? And then they come in, they don't understand that they probably like 9 or 10 hours behind, and probably what they're talking about in the message boards was probably some stuff that somebody that hate on the Coach School Network and the Alabama Voice of College Football is coming there to talk about and spark to see if more people want to jump on that same bandwagon. It's like going and testing the tea, right? Knowing that the tea is hot. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna really try. You ain't gonna try to drink it for a tea somebody else taste it. That's what they be doing with our content, but it's all good. That's what we want. We want to continue to spread what we've been talking about. We got some reliable sources. Shout out to my guy Josh who said, yeah, third year. I agree with you what you said about Yancey and Keon. Definitely think Yancey can be another Will or Tim Williams. I think Yancey brings a different skill set because of his length, man. I think he brings a different skill set. You have a Will Anderson build type of linebacker, but I think his twitch, getting off the ball is a lot quicker. And then the way he can bend and get around the tackle or the tight end to get to the finesse in his pass rush skill set is a lot further than what I saw with Will Anderson. Now, the power, I can't wait to see if that's developed. Him coming into that frame, he was so small coming in the Bama. I think he was like 220, 225. Now he's playing at the 245, 250 range, and that 6'4.5", 6'5" frame.
I think we're going to see a lot of production from that position. Third year, guy. Third year. What's that? Don't do it, Jason. You oh, man, J. Cole. Hey, look, I told y'all, Jason got to act up a little bit when he rides through that, man. What up, Rondo? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. And W. Knight still talking. He said, keep in mind, Smook, you're the same guy who hyped Stevie Wonder Miro for 2 years, literally the worst Alabama QB in the last 2 decades. But with one of the better winning percentages as an Alabama quarterback. Set records for both rushing and passing in the season as a quarterback. Most wins. He had more wins than your pride and joy. Parker, what's his name? Parker Wilson or whatever the guy had more wins than him at the starter. But he was the worst quarterback. And if you really been watching Coach Smook, you would have known that year one, the year that Jalen Miro got named as the starter, I was advocating for Ty Simpson to be the starter when he was a redshirt sophomore. As a matter of fact, a redshirt freshman. A redshirt freshman. He's going into his redshirt junior year. So I've been advocating for Ty Simpson for about 2 years now for him to get over that hump. But he could improve to the staff. I don't make the decisions there, W. Knight. I don't make the decisions there. I just look at it from the standpoint of the coaches and what they evaluated. And that's because you don't have the football mind on the incline knowledge of the game of football, and you can't apply it past your fandom, doesn't mean that we're wrong. Okay? Just accept it, man. You're a fan. Be a fan. Keep getting your information from the message boards that you're overpaying for, and then go to NCAA to try and make it make sense on the video game where you don't use any other Alabama scheme to try to win games. And you're playing on recruit level, and you think you're good, and you can come to somebody's show and tell them about what they actually see and know when it comes to evaluating football. I'm gonna encourage you to keep living your life, man. Corey, Keith, Kimber, appreciate the follow and the love over there on Facebook, man. Showing love over on all the platforms. We're live on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook today, y'all, with your post-practice report. We got about 5 more minutes left. Final thoughts here on the Alabama's first scrimmage. I think this week, going into this week, we want to see a lot more game planning type practice going forward. Going into the second scrimmage, I'm telling y'all right now, same thing we saw last year with the reports and coming out with how guys are performing. The wide receiver room continues to build depth, quality depth, with so many guys getting reps last year. Not many targets last year, but the reps and understanding what's conceptually obligated of you from the wide receiver standpoint. You have 6 or 7 wide receivers that can play all 3 positions in the primary, the base level of this scheme. And then we get to the 4 wide receiver set. You talk about Rico Scott coming in making plays. You talk about Cole Adams, Jaden Mbakwe making plays, Jalen Hill. You're talking about a group of 7 wide receivers right now. And I'll be even inclined to throw 8 in there when I talk about the likes of Derek Meadows and his development. Marshall Pritchett, who's the tight end, but in the receiving core, I think he's going to be a top 6 option, top 7 option. More so than Josh Clavers, Danny Lewis, and Dalton because of his skill set as the receiver, at the tight end position, and with his frame, 6'5", 250. A true freshman, 245, 250, coming in at 6'5", has possessed. I mean, he gives me Brock from Georgia. He gives me those type of feels when we're talking about the receiving assets at the tight end position. J. Cole, how's Ty doing great. When you talk about the timing of this offense, J. Cole acting. I appreciate you for being here, J. Cole. I need you to pick up that wristband, though. I need you to pick up that wristband, J. Cole. Where you been at, man? But how's Ty doing the practice? I think Ty's doing a great job. You'll hear the coaches report how things are just steady with Ty. That's how it's supposed to be. You're talking about a guy that's been on campus for 4 years now. 4 years now. This is his second system that he's had to learn under. Right? Or third. This is the third system, second year under this third system. And I think he's done a good job in correlating all of his natural skill sets and how he's developed through his time as a quarterback. It fits this scheme. And finally, he's crossing that threshold of earning the trust of the coaching staff to be the decisive number 1 thus far. But he's not creating separation from QB2, Keelan Russell. I'll tell y'all that with Keelan Russell, the moment everything becomes fluid in the language and how he speaks and how he commits, like you just heard Kalen DeBoer, this is what you expect from a freshman. Something that if you have the same problem with your veteran guys, I think we have a problem in the quarterback room. But to know that we have 2 guys that feel like they have a good sense and have good control over the offense as far as directing it, that's the perfect position to be in. That's the perfect position to be in. And I say the QB order, depth chart order, as Simpson, Russell, and Mack for this reason. When you have a primary system that you want to run, I think having two quarterbacks in Simpson and Russell that operate that system to the T how you want it to be operated is key. You want to be able to keep those guys there. You want to keep your system in place. And like I said, you got one option. If that don't work, you got another option with plan A, right? You got option one with plan A and B. Then you have option two with plan A and B. And then I truly believe if you have to go to plan C, option three is your best option for this group. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's more of a luxury than it is a problem, Bama Nation. So let's stop trying to make it about the freshman quarterback is the first quarterback out. I know for a fact there will be offensive sets for Keelan Russell. But don't think that Ty Simpson is going to have this long leash. There has to be production, immediate production from this offense. This will not be a system this year that deals with stagnance throughout games. Now, patience and being stagnant is one thing. When you have a scheme where it requires patience because you're dealing with an over-dominant defensive line, you maybe have some issues on the offensive line or injuries that are causing your offensive line to not be able to perform at peak level. So you adjust the scheme to be more patient and slow it down. That's one thing. But then to also, but when you have issues like we did against Oklahoma last year, and very big in the first half, right? Where the offense was just stacked, not capitalizing on extra opportunities. Defense creating more possessions for the offense, but the offense not rendering any points. That's when you want to be able to change it up and go with original pace, plan A, plan B. And if you don't have that option, now we have a whole nother third quarterback that if we got to go to some read RPO, triple option read style of offense where the quarterback legs are utilized, we have the frame, we have the skill set, we have to still have the throwing talent to get vertical off of that play action, RPO reads and all of that stuff. And a quarterback that's familiar with the system and the language of how to run that other system. So I love the fact that we have this type of quarterback situation at the University of Alabama, and I think that puts us in a better position than most schools because I think behind LSU you have the backup is a redshirt sophomore. I don't think he has any live snaps. Everybody's in a situation where if their number one goes down, they're in trouble. Even Auburn with Deuce Knight. You know, he struggled in that second and third scrimmage during the spring. I'm curious to see what type of reports come from their fall scrimmage today. So y'all know I'll be on Twitter patrolling a little bit. The Auburn fan base, they deserve it. But for Pritchard, Brock Bowers, I honestly can say that I can see that. I think Marshall has better route running. I think Brock Bowers came in as a complete tight end for Georgia. And because Georgia hadn't seen that type of skill set, that's why he was able to be an immediate focal point going into that freshman year. He was able to be an immediate impact because they weren't even recruiting skill sets like that at that tight end position. And yes, I do believe Marshall Pritchard is just as good of a wide receiver. Now, route running, Brock Bowers was definitely one of the better route running tight ends we've seen come to college football in probably the past 10, 15 years. And we're talking about Alabama's O.J. Howard and Irv Smith, who were basically big wide receivers. Brock Bowers was a better route runner than those guys. When I just think about guys that Alabama had comfort. Amari Neeblack came through last year, basically another hybrid guy in a receiver's body. I mean, a tight end's body, receiver skill set, and a tight end body. Yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing from the tight end room and Marshall Pritchard, and I do feel like he will be able to impact this season. And I'm talking about starting from week 1, we're going to see number 18 on the field on the offensive side a lot. And then my guy Walker says, I think Bach is speaking at the right time. Listen, we've been talking about Bach's development here for probably the past week and a half. It really started in day 2 of fall camp. Some of the route things he were doing in routes during the warm-ups that I saw, kind of more so not just being an athlete or being quick. He's actually looking to get down in his routes, digging at the top of the routes, getting into his breaks,
driving out of them with high knees, strong hands coming out. I think where he's going to be utilized is going to be trying to create those interior close to the hash mismatches with safeties and linebackers, trying to create confusion there. You got skill sets like he and Cole Adams that can get in switch release concepts. And because of their ability to get vertical and their top end speed, they can create a lot of mismatches just by if a quarterback can see the timing and can hit defenses in transition or pass off. That's where you see a lot of quarterbacks thrive in this type of vertical passing style and this vertical passing scheme with Ryan Gore. Michael Penix did it great. He used to catch defenses and they would be playing it perfect. It was that the timing and the window of being able to throw it when you see the pass out coming and not get it baited in too early, right? Having that deceptiveness to not expose your first read, right? How fast can you get off your first read, but to it, right? And usually that's a 2.3 second clip. And that's what you see with this offense when Ty Simpson is out there. The ball is out quick, it's fast, it's efficient. You see a lot of athletes getting the ball in space and being able to make plays. So I love to see where we're at. I love to see how this offense is developing. You got the reports from Coach Kalen DeBoer. The defense really gave up some big plays early, but bowled up in the red zone. The red zone defense, I think, is going to be top 2, top 3 in the country this year. We had a solid red zone defense last year. One of the least points given up in the red zone. The most points we gave up was against Oklahoma, and those were big runs by their quarterback on the run game. But everything else was outside the red zone, meaning the 20 and out, right? So I think this red zone defense is going to continue to get better. James Smith not being out there full participation is huge. You're getting to see Stephen Duma, Ezra Kill, Tim Keenan, Asai Fagan, Jeremiah Beeman. You're getting to see a lot of those guys get opportunities to step up and showcase how good they look, and get some of these first team reps and being able to impact the game. Shout out to our sister Kay, man. We ain't seen you around on this YouTube side in a minute. Good to see you. Roll Tide. Hey, Coach, happy to hop off too. Okay. That's what's up, Zach. We'll catch up with you later, man. Catch up with you later. Shout out to the 42 likes in the stream, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. And listen, we've got our post-practice report, man. We're going to continue to do it. Today, I just got caught up in some conversations, man. Today was, just talking about this team today with our sources and even getting to talk with some of the parents of the current commits of players on the roster right now, talking to parents and some of the conversations that they've been able to have with their players. This team is really together, man. One of the guys that we're very close with, he's probably not going to be in the rotation this season. He might not be the go-to guy this season. And he has a veteran presence, but his dedication to his teammates and his brothers, man, to hear that and to know that that's being echoed throughout the locker room. A lot of unselfish characters in this locker room, and that's the most promising thing. When you look at Ohio State and the type of success that they had, they were one in their faith, but they were one as far as being there for each other during the season. And I like that. I like the fact that we see that togetherness in the season to the fan base was a failure. I think for a transition year, Kalen DeBoer putting his name on the list, a very short list of coaches at Alabama to have 7 more wins in their first season, or 9+ wins in their first season. You know, right there on the list with Gene Stallings and Bear Bryant. I think we're in a great position. Coach Saban couldn't even do that his first year. And y'all can make all the excuses y'all want, but Coach Saban didn't play against a top-ranked Georgia team his first year. In 2007, he didn't play against a top-ranked, who else Kalen DeBoer had to see last year? He didn't play against the portal, NIL. Coach Saban had more coming over from a winning team from 2 years ago, or a solid recruiting class, than Kalen DeBoer had to work with the first 30 days. He came in handcuffed. Couldn't accept nobody into the program, but was forced to allow people to leave, staff and players. Put that together, and then 20-some days later, run a full spring camp, and then a few months later, load up for fall and come out of that season with 9 wins in the regular season, finish as the number 11 ranked team in the college football playoff rankings. Just get passed up on the playoff berth as the first year head coach at Alabama because of a technicality. I think our fan base needs to calm down and really accept the fact that the change here is good. I think we're going to see this team really thrive this season. And without a shadow of a doubt, I think this is a playoff bound team. We are definitely, in my eyes, I think Alabama is the top 4, top 5 team in the country right now. Stop playing the snap. Looking at the roster, looking at the quality, depth, and talent, I think we're in a good position. So, with that being said, man, I appreciate everybody for tapping in again. Think about becoming a member over here on the YouTube side, man. Joining the AAA family, becoming a member and supporting this channel. You're going to get more exclusive post-practice reports coming up next week. We got a lot of game planning things that will be happening, and I want to discuss that only with the members. So those will be members-only videos. Those Smook videos, post-practice report. Post-practice report will not be, well, we'll do it live for members only, and then it'll be available after live to the rest of the population. We're going to continue to support our members as they continue to support the Coach Kalen Network. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to the Alabama Voice of College Football, Alabama at the Voice of College Football, make sure you go check out their YouTube channel. That's where we'll be doing all of our formative coverage, covering the Alabama Christian Tide this fall. And then we'll be bringing all of our college shows, all of our reactive coverage, all of our interactive coverage here to the Coach Smook Network. Outside with Coach Smook, on campus with Coach Smook, and Coach Smook game day entourage will be the AAA entourage will be in full effect. So if you're looking to show up on the game days this season, we'll have a video, a promo coming out showing you, telling you what days and times we're going to be on Alabama's campus and on campus evaluating the games and being on campus as part of the festivity. So appreciate y'all for tapping in. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. And roll tide, roll.
Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll.